Imagine you're sitting at home right now, and without warning, Earth stops spinning. You might expect everything to simply become still, but there's a problem. Earth may have stopped, but you haven't. Neither has the atmosphere, neither have the oceans, and neither has almost anything sitting on the surface of the planet. At the equator, Earth is rotating at roughly 1,000 miles per hour. You don't notice that speed because you, the ground beneath you, and the atmosphere around you are all moving together. But imagine the ground suddenly stops while everything else keeps going. The results would be catastrophic. People, cars, buildings, trees, and anything not firmly anchored could continue moving eastward at enormous speeds. The closer you were to the equator, the more extreme the effect would be. But that's only the beginning. The atmosphere wouldn't instantly stop with the planet. Air would continue racing across the surface. The result could be winds unlike anything humans have ever experienced. Debris would become dangerous projectiles. Structures would be damaged or destroyed. And then there are the oceans. The water wouldn't simply stay where it is. Its enormous momentum would send it surging across continents. Coastal regions could face devastating waves as the world's oceans violently redistributed themselves. Within minutes, much of the familiar world could look completely different. But suppose somehow you survived those first catastrophic moments. You would face another problem. Day and night would no longer work the way they do now. Today, Earth completes one rotation approximately every 24 hours. That's what gives us our familiar cycle of sunrise and sunset. Without Earth's daily rotation, the sun would appear to move across the sky primarily because Earth continues orbiting the sun. That means a solar day would last roughly an entire year. For months, one side of the planet would experience daylight, while the other endured darkness. Temperatures on the daylight side would rise. The dark side would cool dramatically. Weather systems would change. Ocean currents would be disrupted, and ecosystems built around the 24-hour day-night cycle would face enormous stress. Plants would struggle. Animals would be forced to adapt. Agriculture as we know it could become incredibly difficult. Human civilization would have to rethink where and how people could survive. There would also be a much slower change happening. Earth's rotation causes the planet to bulge slightly around the equator. Without that rotation, Earth would gradually become more spherical. Water would redistribute toward the polar regions, dramatically changing coastlines over time. Some places currently underwater could eventually become land. Other regions could disappear beneath water. And yet, there is an important distinction. If Earth somehow slowed down gradually instead of stopping instantly, humanity might have time to adapt to some of these changes. But an instantaneous stop? That would be an entirely different story. The immediate momentum of the atmosphere, oceans, and everything on Earth's surface would make survival extraordinarily difficult. Fortunately, there is no known mechanism that could simply bring Earth's rotation to an instantaneous halt. Our planet has been spinning for billions of years, and although Earth's rotation is gradually slowing over extremely long periods of time, you're not going to wake up tomorrow to find the planet suddenly standing still. So tonight, when the sun disappears below the horizon, remember what's actually happening. You're standing on a planet spinning through space at incredible speed. You just don't feel it. And maybe that's a good thing. This is the Why Vault, where ordinary questions lead to extraordinary answers.